This conference will now be recorded.
10 a.m. and we'll call the meeting to order of the Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development Municipal Development District, except I'm sorry, are we starting with seed? Okay, so I'm sorry, Nisha. No, you're fine. Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development, Inc. of Sweetwater, Texas, meeting at 10 a.m. Monday, September 14th. We'll begin the meeting with a prayer. Dr. Pete, please.
Y'all join me in prayer, please. Gracious Heavenly Father, we just give thanks, Lord, that we can pause in our day and we can come before your throne and ask for forgiveness for where we have failed you, but also give you thanks for all the ways that you have blessed us. We're especially grateful for the rains that you have sent our way, Lord, and just rejoice in the way that you have shown your love for us. Be with us as we make decisions on the behalf of our community. Help us to seek your will as we do that. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you. So item 3, public comments and receipt of petitions. At this time, anyone will be allowed to speak on any matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation for a length of time not to exceed 3 minutes. No board discussion or action may take place on a matter until such matter has been placed on an agenda and posted in accordance with law. Are there any comments?
We've not received any.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 4A, action items. Board to review and consider approving minutes from Monday, February 7th, 2020 seed meeting.
Move adoption of the minutes.
Second.
Thank you.
Russ can't second that. He was not part of.
Oh, gosh.
You'll
Yep,
have
you're
to-
right. Second.
Okay,
Thank you,
great.
Jill.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded that the minutes of the Monday, February 7th, 2020 seed meeting be approved. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any,
Well, we have me as being present at that seed board meeting.
Yes, you were present on February 7th. It was to convey all the remaining real property from seed.
You were there as a guest.
Gotcha. Okay.
any opposed? No. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 4B. Board to review and consider approving the dissolution of Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development Incorporated.
I would like to say that seed has met all the requirements that were listed in the termination and distribution of assets plan that was attached to resolution number 2018-001. And there are no known claimants or debts or and all obligations, liabilities, and assets as to date have been transferred to the MDD.
Great. Smooth process.
And even beyond that, we checked with the Attorney General and they already have us listed as closed. So
Yeah, and
Okay,
there's a, from the Secretary of State, a franchise tax ended document attached behind your minutes right there.
great.
Wanted to see that.
Okay, thank you for taking care of all those details and it's,
Move we approve the dissolution of Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development Incorporated
if I may ask, if you wouldn't mind and transferring the balance.
and transferring the balance to Sweetwater Municipal Development District.
okay,
Correct. Thank you.
And transferring that with a second.
okay, thank you. So it's moved and seconded for the, to approve the dissolution of Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development Incorporated and transfer the associated balance. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. We need a motion to adjourn.
Oh, dude, we're dissolved. Is there-
Okay, now-
Let's make sure.
Okay.
I move we adjourn.
Great, thank you.
Second.
All right, we are adjourned
And dissolved.
and dissolved.
Thank you very much.
That's
Are we
really
free to
a
go?
pretty big deal.
You're free to go to the next meeting.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it is now 10:05 and we will call the meeting to order of the Sweetwater Enterprise for Economic Development Municipal Development District of Sweetwater, Texas. Again, we will have item 2, Public comments and receipt of petitions. Anyone will be allowed to speak on this matter other than personnel matters or matters under litigation, not to exceed 3 minutes. No board discussion or action may take place until such matter has been placed on an agenda and posted in accordance with law. Are there any comments?
We've received no comments.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to the action items. 3A, board to review and consider approving the minutes of the August 17th, 2020 meeting.
Move to accept.
Second.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded that the board approve the minutes of the August 17th, 2020 meeting. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Action item 3B, board to review and consider approving payment of accounts payable.
Is that for one?
Oops.
Yep.
Okay. Do we need to come back? Okay. Item 3C, board to review and consider approving the July 2020 financial statements.
Okay. I kind of went out of, I think I went out of order on everyone's. I put the income statement in front of the balance sheet. Normally we look at our balance sheet first, but there's not really anything to point out on our income statement. On the balance sheet, we're up 2.92% compared to taxes received in August of 2019. You'll see a decrease in our designated fund balance. That was for the final payment of the splash pad and for the irrigation and for an apartment incentive to Paydex. And I would like to say, after inspection of what we turned in for September 1st for Paydex, they have actually accessed their first exterior incentive, meaning they've reached 20 units. If you'll remember, that's $11,000 4 times every time they reach that 20 unit point. So they're doing really good. They have a waiting list of 5, 2 in October, 1 November, and 1 December as of right now.
I think it's
Or
3 in October.
3 in October, 1 in 1. So they're maintaining a pretty steady flow of tenants. If you'll look at your sales tax report, I kind of skipped over the fund balance, but like I said, the Paydex in the city of Sweetwater were the only changes on that. As far as sales tax go, for the sales tax collected in August, we were still up as compared to the prior month. I have gone on the, or we did receive the sales tax report that we will collect in September. We're actually down 4.77%. As compared to the sales tax collected in September of 2019. And I believe the city said they were down about 11%. So that month is our second month of this year to be down. And then if you look at your unemployment, there was a decrease in our 9-county region everywhere except for Mitchell County. And if you'll take a look, actually the only 2 counties in the 9-county region that are above the Texas average are Scurry and Mitchell. So I think all in all, we're still faring very well there. So.
And then we know this is the obvious, but things we just kind of remind is that our economic diversity in Nolan County is one of the reasons we don't have the extreme highs that some of the other counties around us have.
That's all I have unless there are questions.
Are there any questions?
Move approval of the July 2020 financial statement.
Second.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded that we approve the July 2020 financial statements. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. We ready to approve accounts payable?
I think we'll go, yes, ma'am, we're ready to go back to that.
We just need a motion.
We can shut that door since we're technically closed in here.
Oh, you're right.
No.
Madam President, do you have a motion on that?
We not yet need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded for payment of the accounts payable. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is carried.
I abstained.
Okay. With Russ abstaining.
Abstain.
Ready to move on? Okay, action item 3D, board to review and consider approving the amended and revised facade improvement grant.
You'll look at your tab there that's listed facade. The only two changes that we've made on that page 2 is under project coverage eligibility area. We've added in the main corridors to include Elm Street, Broadway, Haley, and Lamar Streets. And then on page 3, letter C, number 1, I added in, instead of it just reading commercial property owners, I added in the nonprofit organizations as well. They're located in those corridors and in the 9-district downtown district, 9-block downtown district.
Where's that?
On page 3, number 1,
Okay,
and then also there's a,
right here.
the bullet.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Finding those.
Those were the only changes on that.
And Jeff, have you reviewed this?
I haven't seen it, but I don't have any particular issue with any of those.
Okay.
What do we have budgeted for that this year?
We don't have,
A specific amount?
no, we don't.
It just, each separate project would have to come to y'all and you would have to approve each project.
Okay.
And guess we could have a silent number in our minds that we don't want to exceed, or however y'all want to do that, or we can list it in the minutes. If y'all have a number out there that you want to.
And this is open-ended, correct? We didn't put a
Correct.
time frame for applications to be received or anything like that? Okay. How will we advertise? We have a plan for that to let people know we've extended the boundaries? Or-
Yeah, what we did last time is Ken and I on foot went around downtown and actually handed out application copies and took donuts to all the business owners. We'll probably kind of do that and market it some on social media, Facebook and stuff like that.
There's already been one restaurant we've talked to on Haley Street, just letting them know, because they asked about it before and we said they weren't included at that point in time. Now with the potential change, they might have some interest.
Well, we weren't overwhelmed with applications on our initial area. I'd be a little concerned that we may have some issues as broadly as we're expanding it now, but I would say let's jump in the pool, and if we kind of get overwhelmed, then we can back up for budgetary reasons.
Mhm.
Okay.
I move approval of the changes to the facade agreement, facade plan.
Thank you.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded that the changes of the amended and revised facade improvement grant be approved. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The ayes have it, and we have approved the amended and revised facade improvement grant. And I think it's wonderful. I think we hope we see some
I
really
do too.
good results from that. Okay, move to item 3E. Action item 3E. Board to acknowledge and approve that Logistics Support, Inc. has completed and satisfied all contractual requirements stated in the amended and restated incentive agreement dated January 13th, 2020.
As of last report for August of 2020, that was actually their best month ever. They did 669 cars in 1 month. At this point in time, that exceeds, they needed to hit 12,000 over their contract period. They are now at 12,652 rail cars. We recommend that with all the information that's been supplied, that we're able to end that agreement, and they fulfilled all the requirements. Part of that will also include us signing an insurance release. As part of ours was that we are additionally insured with logistics support, and this will release them from requiring to do that anymore. And you've looked at that.
Yes,
Okay.
I've looked at that. I've looked at both the, double checked the original agreement, which they've satisfied, and the release is non-threatening. There's nothing.
Great. Good, good.
Another successful project.
Yes, I think so. I think that was a good one and certainly a benefit to our extended community for sure, the way with the Marynell plant and all of that. So I think that was wonderful. So we just need a motion to approve the
So moved.
completion. Okay.
Second.
Thank you. So it's moved and seconded that we approve that logistics support has completed and satisfied all of their contractual requirements. All in favor, please say aye. Any opposed, no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Action item 3F, board to review and consider approving a lease agreement with Republic Services.
And Dana can probably add some more information, but if you remember, Republic Services is a group that's going to be taking over the trash hauling for our community. They were looking for a temporary site. We were able to work with them, and we'll actually work with Jeff on putting together a potential temporary lease. We've got a 60-day lease where they will pay all the attorney fees up to $600. And then we've also asked that they pay $750 a month per month for those 2 months, with a penalty of, if they go past the 2 months, they still would owe another $750. So Jeff, do you have anything to add with that?
No, that's pretty much the gist of it. 60-day agreement, paid by the month, like Ken said. We use fairly standard ground lease agreement where they're not allowed to improve or change anything on the property. They would be liable for any release of any hazardous materials or anything. It would be unlikely that would happen, but given that it's dumpsters and things, we want them cleaning that up if something did come of that. They also have an obligation to essentially restore the premises back to the way it was when they got it, subject to standard wear and tear of distance time. But it's pretty straightforward. They do have a right to extend that lease month to month. We're up to 6 right now, just depending on, given the environment, we had a fund lesson in force majeure events over the last year. So giving them that little wiggle room is probably appropriate. If they held over, meaning if they stayed past, if they went their 60 days, didn't ask for an extension, and were still there, they'd have to pay $750 a month. But we would have, y'all as a board would have the opportunity to send them a termination notice and get out in 30 days. That's the gist of it.
So I don't really know anything about all of this project that we're getting ready to embark upon for Sweetwater, but where will all of the existing dumpsters go for Sweetwater? Will they all be taken to that site? Are y'all going to pick dumpsters up from everywhere? And we don't have to talk about this. I don't mean to get,
No, that's a great question.
because I'm thinking, if they're the city's dumpsters, how does Republic, are they going to remove them? And those dumpsters just going to stay there forever? And are we picking up every single dumpster in Sweetwater? I mean,
We're going to work with them on both the residential and the commercial dumpsters that will all be replaced. The Republic Services is a part of the agreement that was approved by City Council. They are going to select containers that they want. They have purchasing. They have some communities that they're working with that will purchase those, and we will get reimbursed as a city for that. And then the containers that are in bad shape will be scrapped out. And we have an agreement with the salvage business that's located right abutting to the property that you own. And so we'll get salvage on the containers that we don't receive. So that property is really going to be the staging area for the new containers to come in that will be brought out into the community to replace the 3-yard metal ones that'll be removed from the alleyways and from the street right of way. We think that within 60 days, we'll have those containers removed off the property because they'll have communities that will buy those, and then we'll scrap out the other ones. So I think the time frame works very well, but it's really transitioning to a new solid waste or refuse collection program here, as we're outsourcing it now, Republic Services. And we appreciate if you would consider this. It really helped. We were not able to take the 3-yard containers at our landfill. That was the first thought at our new landfill, because they're considered to be, they wouldn't meet our operating permit there. So
They have putrescible waste in them.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though they're empty, our operating permit wouldn't allow for that as we reviewed that. So they'll be clean. I mean, they're not going to be emptied and so forth. This just gives us a lot of flexibility now to work to get rid of them quickly. And a place to put them temporarily.
What about the cardboard containers?
Cardboard containers are going to also be removed. That was one of the program elements that we will not continue. We are in discussions with Republic Services to potentially put out some containers centrally located in certain areas of the community to allow for that. We still have our recycling center, so we will always accept cardboard, whether it's brought voluntarily or not, but we just, it comes down to the cost of it, and the marketability of the cardboard just isn't there either. So we had to take a look at balancing our budget, and so that was something that had to stop as part of our program.
There were also some issues as far as the recycling bins being used for regular garbage disposal.
Yeah, we were getting contaminated waste, and so unfortunately we have folks coming in from other places that it's a very accessible waste container, and they don't have locks on them, so they are used, as Dr. Peak had said, and that has been an issue for us. It takes a lot of time, and we've had to take that over to either Abilene or Snyder landfill and pay those disposal costs.
So, and everybody, I mean, will you pick up twice a week?
We're going to pick up once a week.
Once a week.
That's the setup. And what we don't currently have that we're adding, if you've noticed, we certainly have our alleys that become dumping areas near the 3-yard containers. If it doesn't fit in the container, it goes next to the container. And the city does not have currently a monthly bulk and brush pickup program. So we do pick those up, but it's on a complaint basis. This program now with outsourcing will have a monthly brush and bulk pickup program. The change is that it'll be picked up in the front yards. That's where the containers are going to be too. So we're removing everything, and hopefully we'll remove all debris and waste out of the alleys, and everything will be picked up front yard as part of this program.
Containers will be front yard?
Yes, the rollout containers, there'll be 95 gallon poly carts will be replacing the 3-yard containers, and every residence will have one, and there is the option to get more than one as well for an additional cost, right?
And where do you keep them?
Correct me if I'm wrong. The pickup will be where your principal driveway.
Yeah, and
if
that's
your
a
driveway
good
is in
point.
the alley, that's where your cart will roll out to.
Yeah, in most cases, it'll be, your driveway is in the front, accessible from the street, except there's a few places, more than a few in the city, where the only access to the property by a vehicle is through an alley. So that's your driveway. There will still be cart pickup at those locations where that's your only access to the property.
Then each homeowner will be responsible for their cart, moving it in and out. So storing it in your garage or wherever you
Does
store
it fit in your garage?
It can go in the garage. It just has to go back behind the front building line. We're not saying it has to be screened or anything like that. And if you look around in other communities, they just put it up to the house typically, or they can put it in the garage, but we aren't going to leave them out in the street. So they'll have to be removed within 24 hours of the pickup, and then just brought back to the house. And then you have, I think, sometime the day before pickup that you can actually put the cart out there. And those rules will be distributed when the carts are distributed to the residents. They'll know exactly when
Oh,
the
okay.
pickup day will be and when they can put the carts out and have to bring them back.
I was encouraged, there was a recent online Facebook discussion about trash being dumped by the dumpsters, and there were a lot of comments that were addressing the rollout carts. It were very positive. People saying, no, this will be my cart, and I won't be having to contend with somebody else filling up my dumpster and that kind of thing. So
That's true.
kind of like your water meter, you're going to pay for what you use.
And you can get a second cart.
You can get it, yeah, you have to purchase a second cart, but it's a pretty reasonable amount. And we anticipate maybe 20% of the residents will pick up a second cart. I think that's the going percentage with other communities.
The dumpsters will still be present for commercial.
Okay.
Yes, we'll still have the commercial pickup. The only change there is right now the city is doing the billing and we're contracting out with the businesses. Republic Services will do that on their own. It'll be a direct agreement with Republic Services and the business. And so the city will not be billing out for that, but we will maintain the billing for residential. So we think that this is gonna.
Will they be, will the rates be the same for the
The,
commercial? I wonder, we
don't-
don't need to get, I'm sorry, I'm taking up time. I don't mean to
the
get-
residential rates
I
are,
meant commercial.
yeah, the commercial go up. I just don't remember what the percentage would be. And it's based on, the number of containers and how many times they'll pick it up. And so this gives each business an opportunity now to take a look at what they have been getting for
Probably put
trash
locks on them.
pickup.
Yeah.
They might reduce it by a day, or they might add another container and add another day. They have that option of working with Republic Services to set up what's best for them.
Okay, thank you.
And what we'd also ask as part of consideration for this lease agreement is, Republic has not seen this. This all came together in just a few days last week. If you approve it, we would ask that if there's any minor changes that Republic needs, if Jeff approves them, that we can go ahead and execute that contract.
So make that part of the motion.
Yeah, I'd love to have
Or part
that.
of
That
what
way,
we approve.
because they're going to start doing that pretty soon if we approve it. So we don't want to wait till another meeting to
And
make
is
that happen.
Is it appropriate, may we ask Jeff to look into possibly getting that property off of our books and giving it to the city? Is that something that he could look at for us, just to see if that's
Yeah, you bet.
a legal thing for us to do? Because I don't think legally we are supposed to own property anyway as an
You're allowed
MDD.
to, MDD can't.
We
Oh,
can
you
own,
can?
we just can't use it as an economic incentive.
Oh, right. So, okay, well, okay.
It's about 77.
Yeah, a little over 70 acres.
That's been owned for a while now.
Yes.
Okay, well, maybe we're not interested in doing that. So, okay,
I move approval of the lease and that we authorize our attorney to negotiate any minor changes.
okay. We have a
Call for a
motion.
question.
Yes.
Call for a question. Before we proceed to vote, I just have one quick question. I think it goes without saying that the only reason why we're entertaining this is to assist the city in this transition. It does zero benefit to Seed monetarily, so it's a kind gesture. And as we know, all good deeds go unpunished. So before we say okay to this, Jeff, is there any risk to the Seed board or the entity as it relates to this lease beyond what we've discussed, whether it be environmental or beyond?
No, we're requiring them to indemnify us from anything. I mean, you can make up scenarios, but they're very remote. I mean, we're.
Are there any insurance requirements that we should consider?
Or we require them.
Yeah, there's a liability.
Yes.
And we are requiring them to carry insurance on it.
Okay.
So they're insured and they'll be indemnifying us. And they'll have a requirement to clean up and all those sorts of things.
And somebody will check
Sure.
then somebody will check the insurance to make sure that we are listed and all that, correct? I mean,
Yes.
that's, okay.
Yeah, I'll, when they get it to us, I'll send it to Jeff. And Joseph, just to add in, we are charging them a monthly rent of $750.
I know it's immaterial when you really look at it, but I just wanted to make sure we were cognizant of any and all risks that we we might be bringing. I'm supportive of it, and I think it's great that we're helping the city in this transition. I just want to make sure we're covered.
You're in good shape.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
Joseph.
you, Jeff.
So we've had the question answered. We've had a motion and second, correct?
Mhm.
All in favor, please say aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion is carried to approve the lease agreement with Republic Services and any adjustments that need to be made, subject to approval by our attorney. Okay, item ready to go to 4A, Ken, or where?
Yes,
Okay,
I think we are.
Okay. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but Bells is no longer with us. Ken and I have been working with he's like the shopping center lease agent for that location, Jeff Warwick, and just trying to work with him. And he's been really great in asking us what we feel would fit best there, and kind of, retail or just other type of a leasee of some sort. I did want to mention that when Ken and I talked to him, we provided him with this report that we were provided from a company similar to the Retail Academy that we're about to start. Buxton is the company's name. And what it was is it's like a retail analysis study that tracks your mobile device by GPS pings. And it was really updated information. I believe the report was done back June 17th. And Mr. Warwick with the shopping center was really surprised with the updated information that we were able to provide him, and the quality of the information that we were able to provide him. So I just kind of wanted to point out that the value of having our information up to date, and which Workforce IQ will help us with a lot of that on our new website. And then, of course, the Retail Academy that we're about to start, which we had our first kickoff call on September 10th. And starting September 23rd, we're going to have 6 hours of education, kind of like the training that Dr. Peak suggested during our board retreat. It's going to help explore retail trends, real estate 101, downtown strategies, redevelopment strategies. And it's going to kind of educate, us how to talk to the prospects and help us develop a sales pitch and stuff like that. And so Ken, Karen, and I will all be participating, and it's about a year-long project. I believe we'll get all of our deliverables by June 2021.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what this? Okay. And by deliverables, I mean the retail prospect list that they're going to be providing us. And they're going to be really comparing us to other communities, and they'll provide us with the top zones of our community that are available for commercial development, and retail brands that are kind of, interested in those type of locations in a community like Sweetwater and everything. And they'll be providing us with the contacts of those various retail brands by regional leader and district and stuff like that. So all in all, it's going to give us a really good starting point. And the value of this program is about $10,000. And this was the grant that we applied for back in February of 2021.
And there's only 6 communities that got accepted with that. We're one of the 6. And it really ties in with, we go back to our, when we had our retreat of several mentioned that we need more education and more involvement in the retail side. This is going to do a lot of what we talked about trying to pay consultants to do. So
Is
this
that
will really
one of
help.
6 statewide, nationwide, what?
Statewide.
Wow.
So
Real good.
I don't know, I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know, ever since I've, these people, businesses, companies like this that have been kind of approaching us with their product and everything, I just think it sounds really cool, because it's all done by like mobile GPS pinging, and it really tracks Like if someone goes to a Chick-fil-A and they stop here at a Walmart, it's like, hey, this person's been to Chick-fil-A 5 times in the last month. If you had a Chick-fil-A beside Walmart, then they would go there, kind of thing, you know. It's just really cool, some of the technology that they're using to provide us with these studies and everything. And then I also wanted to talk about a new one, and this is through the same IC Squared Institute, which we did that survey, and that one just kind of, I feel like, fell off because of COVID and in the midst of everything. There is another one that we have signed up for, and we actually have our first, meeting discussion tomorrow from 4:30 to 5:45, and it's called Regional XLR8, and this one is more of like a regional accelerator for economic development program, and it says communities will explore regional collaboration, identify opportunities for growth, fitting regional assets, and develop a plan to turn opportunity into reality and empower a local team to make future happen today. And so there's 48 total communities, but in our group, there's 17, including Sweetwater communities that were classified as West Texas. So it's more of like a regional partnership and just kind of analyzing our area regionally.
And we've also pulled in the chamber on that. They'll be part of our network to be able to do that. We felt that was important with Misha and I and the chamber all kind of working on that same thing, because some of that is as much chamber as it is economic development. So we thought that would be a good mix.
And just in case, Ken and I can't be of it because the website's going to take a lot of time, and of course all these other programs. So we thought the more organizations we had involved, the better, and we could kind of cover that easier. And then I just wanted to give a quick update on our demolition. I guess total demolished properties is up to 18. That's 6 of ours funded, 10 that the city has done, and one of them's still in a pile and hasn't got cleaned up because of the rain. But and then 2 property owner abated properties. So after our 4 with the Palomino and the West Broadway and East Broadway properties, we'll be up to 22 demolished properties since we've started working on this. So that's pretty exciting.
And it goes back, and I know we've said it many times before, someone had to knock over the first domino, and this board chose to do that. And now we're sitting at 22 almost dominoes knocked over. So that's making a lot of headway, and Dana has done a tremendous job of staying on that stuff and not allowing it to drag out too long.
And I will remind you, that's been just since December, right? So that's not even a year.
Yeah, if I might add, I again appreciate everything that the board is doing, because that first batch of projects that you went ahead and funded for the removal said so much for those neighborhoods. I think we got a lot of comments on that, and that this is what it can be like in those areas that we're taking these blighted structures out. So I think that that sort of moved the city a little bit further into that, utilizing staff when we can to do some demolition of some trustee properties, which we've taken one, which you have in your update, and then we've got another one that's close. So we'll continue that project too, or those projects to add on to that list of 22 that we'll have, and continue those efforts. I think it really means a lot. It says a lot, and it demonstrates what we can do here. So we'll continue absolutely working in that. And the commercial corridors are very important in the priority areas, and we'll continue working on those as well. I know it takes time to get those, but it's just the way it is sometimes. All the hoops you have to go through to get that done, it takes time. So we're getting close on the current one. So thank you.
Thank you, Dana.
Thank
We
you.
really do appreciate your work and effort on all of this. It's just so exciting for us to get to see the progress that's been made, and it's really been like almost a dream that we've been able to tear stuff down. So anyway, we really appreciate your hard work and leadership on it. You do.
That's all I have.
Thank you, Misha. Mr. Becker?
All right, I'm gonna try to get through these fairly quick. First one is just connectivity and broadband. It's something that's been talked a little bit about, and there's a group called Connected Nation, and there's a representative in Texas. that we've been working with on this. And, you know, it's one of those good news, not so good news, or not, I won't call it bad news. When you look at federal guidelines, Nolan County, at least in most of Nolan County, are considered at least basic information and basic connectivity. I've got maps that, and I'll be glad to email these out to everybody, but they talk about 10 megabytes down and 1 uploaded. And when you have that map, it covers the biggest share of the county. There's still some pretty weak areas outside the city of Sweetwater. Then it goes to the 25 down and 3 up. That's what is federally designated as kind of a baseline.
Broadband.
For
It's
broadband,
considered
yes. And one of the things we found out talking with them is, I mean, there's places in San Antonio region just outside their city limits that doesn't have the coverage we have. Then you go up to 50 megabytes down, 5 up. 77% of our county is covered with that. And when you go up to the high end, 100 megabytes down and 10 up, 76% of our county is covered. But when we look at that physical space, we're actually at 1,434 or 38 households that are not covered in that. So it's, you know, part of our struggle will be, we're not on the list of real need in comparison with a lot of places. We've already had some conversation with the school district. You know, one of the concerns we've had through the virus is that there are a number of homes with school kids in them that don't have connectivity. And what we've also found that there's 2 pieces to that one. One is a choice. Some choose not to pay what it takes to get that done. And then other, it is a financial issue that they cannot afford to do that. So it's just looking at what options could we do long-term that would help our community and help our kids if more and more online stuff's going. Because if we don't take care of those kids that end up online, we will take care of them the rest of our lives, because they will be that much farther behind. And so somehow as a community, we have to look at how can we better be connected. And there are some ways to do that, but we just want to give a quick report on that, so we kind of let you know where we're at. And there is some groups out there working on that. In fact, it's Connect the Nation. One of their goals is to map the whole United States on connectivity and create maps so people can take a look at those and find out, well, where do we rank? And then also, what is it we need to do to help ourselves? Next part, Misha's going to pull up a PowerPoint that I'll give to City Council tomorrow. I've got 2 things on the City Council tomorrow. One will be the budget that we've already approved, and then second is we're required to do an annual kind of a program of work update. So she's going to kind of give that, and I'll give you just a kind of a quick overview of what I'll be talking to the City Council about tomorrow.
That looks nice.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll start with that. And again, that goes back to the diversity. Second slide is the same thing. You've already seen that, but I think we need to remind our community how diverse we are and the population bases and opportunities we have. We go to the next one is logistics. Of course, logistics support is now closed out. They've already taken care of their stuff. Highway traffic is picking back up again. It's probably getting pretty close to what it was before. Probably hasn't reached exactly that just because of the oil downturn. I think we've said it many times. We could have handled the virus or the oil. We just didn't want to try to handle both of them on top of each other. But again, it just reminds us that logistics is a really big thing of ours. Then we go into the manufacturing. Again, we're at 12-13% of our employment. In fact, I've got another one that I'll talk about there is economic activity, but IC Breeze is actually sold. John Brinkman no longer owns that. Another group has bought that out. At this point, they plan on staying where they're at. So we're working with them on, in fact, Misha's put together some posts on social media on hiring some people. So we'll be continuing to work with them and hope to meet with the new owner when he comes to town. Energy One, Misha's done a great job. You probably saw that new updated energy brochure we put together, and that actually has the fresher numbers. We're at 1,438 turbines with this new group being put in at just under 2,400 megawatts. Then you look at the 200 megawatts of solar panels. I mean, that's a lot. And it's been kind of neat going with that. Then you have the hospitality side. We forget sometimes that we have like the compressed natural gas. We've got the Walmart electric hookup. You've got Tesla at Holiday Inn. Our hospitality sector is really big. And then the things that Misha's talked about, whether it's IC Squared or the Retail Academy, is going to give us some tools and some better knowledge to be able to see how can we expand those opportunities, because there's a lot of traffic, as we all know, out there. And let's find a better way to get some of those people to pull off a few more times. Now, when we go to the workforce, and we talked about it when we were doing our website, is that the workforce IQ, I mean, everything that she's going to rebuild on that is going to be really good, but we think the workforce IQ is going to be one of those pieces that really makes a difference, because we're going to be able to work with our school districts in their continuing education, some of those different programs, and be able to show them what jobs are popping up, what jobs are going to have the best pay scales, what jobs are going to need certain types of training, so we can help them adjust and try to create that workforce pipeline that we really need in our community to get into the existing companies that we have. Then we go into the sense of place, and of course the splash pad has just been one of many things. We're also looking, and again, we have not committed funds, but we're talking about the upgrade of some of the other facilities. And while we're doing that, I want to also just a real quick one. Coach Evan Grantham, he's an assistant basketball coach and assistant golf coach here in community, is trying to put together some funds to redo the basketball courts on Fraley Park. And I've met with him. I would like to sure at least get some direction from this board. I'd like to be able to take that to Russell. Again, that's city owns all that stuff, so we're not dictating or anything, but I would like to at least have him talk about the possibility of including that in one of our projects over the next year or two. I think it's great when you have a coach that wants to take a facility, upgrade that facility, and be able to hold some tournaments, and also be able to build a grassroots basketball program in our community. And what better way could you do it by having a high school coach out there that really wants to do this and promote that. Then we'll go into the housing. Of course, we've already talked most of that. You've already seen that. We did sign the agreement with Jose on Friday. He's got everything done at the city. What was the few code enforcement you had to get done? No, zoning issues. Got that all changed. So he's working on the new design, and as soon as he gets that new first floor plan, he'll get that back to us. Then we already talked a little bit about the Oaks, but one of the things that we've really have enjoyed about this project, and to kind of carry it a little bit further, we've got the Hampton group out of California that owns a bunch of property. I actually spoke to Mr. Hampton's daughter on Friday and told her that they own an apartment complex, and I said we'd love to talk to you about upgrading and redoing and things like that, and she said they may have some interest. So who knows what's going to happen there. But one of the things that the Oaks have done, here's 5 companies in Sweetwater that they're buying all their materials from: Higginbotham, Sutherland's, A1 Plumbing, Sears, and Elliott Electric. They're taking those dollars and keeping them here in the community. And Higginbotham is carrying now stuff that they didn't carry for them. Sutherland's is now carrying the kitchen cabinets in stock for them. A1 Plumbing continues to do what they've done, water heaters and that type of stuff. Sears keeps the appliances on hand and continues to order them. So, and as Misha had already said, there's already 5 apartments right now that are already leased that they have to redo yet. So I don't think in the last 6 months they've run under 4 signed contracts ahead. So that's really been great to see that. Sutherland's, they've done quite well. We continue to do with them, and I think talking with Higginbotham, so far I think it's fit the way we thought it would. A lot of the sales that Sutherland's getting, I mean, some of it's our community, or most of it's probably our community, but some of that is the stuff that used to go to Abilene. And I think the combination of the COVID and them opening at the same time allowed them to get people to come in that didn't want to go to Abilene, and now they found that that's a good option. Talked with Ray, and he's still hitting every one of his monthly targets, so they're pretty pleased. And I think our community has really gained some opportunity and probably some good sales tax because of that. The last one I think is, no, it's not the last one, is the facade program, and again, we'll be trying to continue to improve that one. And then the last one was kind of more the over and above, and I think Misha's already talked about most of the demolition, and then I'll also give the city council an update on the Connected Nation report too, to kind of show where we're at on the connectivity side.
Very good, very good.
One of the things that probably over the last 2 years was asked about is when we start looking at possible development land, boy, there's a piece of property out there on Haley Street that would be really good. And, you know, we've sent letters to the ownership, and amazingly enough, over the holidays, a bunch of signs went up. 70 acres on the corner of, can't remember what that, it's
County Road
yeah, it's-
17th. but,
what is it?
County Road 1.
17th and 70, right? 17th.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it turns into the county road on the other side, but that property and then also the one around Santa Fe Lake are both available now, and quite honestly, less than what we expected. The big one's coming in at about 580,000, and the other's about 170,000. But before, they were not on the market at all, and we kept being told that it was $1 to $1.25 million. So at least now there is some pieces of property that could be developed. And again, I think that's the combination of things happening in our community. All of a sudden, it just seemed right time for that ownership group to say, you know, I think there may be a market out there. So I'm glad to see that, and at least it'll make it easier for us if we get a developer to come in and say, yes, there is some pretty good property. that could
And
be
once they
developed.
list it, they show at least maybe they're serious, you know, it may still might be a little bit high, but that's some great opportunity right
It is.
there.
Did you say there was a second property?
Yeah, it's right across the street, kind of where the Santa Fe Lake overflow is on the, yeah, it's kind of a triangle point. In fact,
In between 16th and
17th.
the duplexes, not the
Yeah.
townhouses.
yes.
Right where Lakewood starts, kind of right there, you come out.
And Sweetwater actually owns a little bitty strip of park right there that goes along that overflow
Is the
area.
larger property all inside city limits? Do you know?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then just some other quick economic development activity. Mighty Wash, a group that actually, and I think we've talked about it before, but we have more information, bought the piece of property back behind Hef's out by the interstate. They're going to put in a full service car wash that will actually hire people to, could hand wash it, could dry it. It's a multi-million-dollar investment to put in there. Their intent right now, Misha's been contacting them quite a bit. They've got 11, it's either 10 or 11 places now, 5 in Lubbock, 5 or 6 out in the Permian Basin area. And then Sweetwater will be their new one. And they hope to start around January and try to have it open by May or June of this next year. Intend to hire 25 to 35 people, depending on things. And they have all kinds of plans where you can do per wash, or you can buy it so much a month, or you can buy so much a year, or those type of things. And there's other options they're looking at, but they're pretty excited about this particular location, and they've already closed on the property and own it. So
They've not approached.
no, they have not.
Okay, that's fine.
They have asked kind of what we have done in the past, but as of right now, I don't know if they intend to approach us or not.
And then Joseph, you know about this one, Polar Station Ice and Water.
I've heard about that.
Yeah, we have another gentleman, a local man who's a Marine, retired, come back, actually living in his mom's house out near Mulberry Mansion or Mulberry Manor. I can't remember which they call it now. Manor, I think. But going to put in a ice and water station. It'll be out in the Biggs parking lot, hopefully in the next 60 days. And I've got a picture I'll just kind of pass around of what these things look like.
Mhm.
It's still a self-service, but it's actually about a 9 by 11 building.
I've looked at them. Okay, I looked at putting one next to my office.
Oh.
A really expensive freezer.
Another, just a quick update. We've talked about that West Broadway project or property. And of course, now we've got it potentially temporary leased. But just to give you an idea, we did check on what appraisal costs might be, and we contacted two different appraisers. One was West Texas Appraisal and the other is Foster and Company. One of them was $2,750 and the other one was anywhere from $3,500 to $4,500. I think that's all I have on this particular part.
Thank you, Ken.
Mm-hmm.
We ready to go to closed session?
Yes, ma'am.
I move we enter into closed session.
Second.
Thank you. It's moved and seconded that we leave regular session and enter into closed session. All approved, please say aye. I mean, all in favor, please say aye. I'm sorry. Any opposed? The ayes have it. So we will move into closed session.
This conference will now be recorded.
Can I have my pen back?
Okay, if I slip out.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you,
We
sir.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
They really
Thanks,
do.
Sage.
Okay. So are we finished?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Now Sage is with who?
Hibbs and Todd.
Hips and Todd.
And Protect Hibbs and Todd.